All right, so thank you for joining us today for our second MineTracker 101 of the semester. We're going to be talking about how to utilize the Forms tool. My name is Joanna Whitaker. All right, so meet our team. So we have our director, Mallory, or our assistant director, Mallory Payan. She's in charge of Fraternity and Sorority Life, Terry Scholar Program, as well as the student organization support team. We have Travaris Peterson. He is a coordinator for student organization support. And Adriana and myself, we are student organization support interns. So as always, we have virtual office hours. In our office, no appointment is necessary. We have 3 different days that we're doing it, different times. Just hop on and chat with one of us. We'll be willing to answer all of your questions. If any of these times don't work for you, you can always email us and we can set up an appointment. All right, so here's what we're going to talk about. Short and sweet, we're going to talk about steps on how to create a form, examples of what to use the Forms tool for, and the benefits of the Forms tool. All right, so forms. The Forms tool allows you to create a document that will completely be customized to your liking. It's available to all of your members. You can reuse it as many times as you want, share it to anybody, and edit it over and over again for all of the upcoming years. I think we have some people who have had documents and forms and all sorts of things in there since I think the longest I've seen it is from like 2010. So you can have it for however long, and all of your officers and members can have it for however long your organization is around for. All right, so I'll start off with a question. Have any of you ever utilized the Forms tool? If yes, how was it for your experience and what did you use it for? If anyone would like to answer. And if not, that's okay too. All right, well, feel free to type in the chat if you want to, but we'll continue on so we can get through this presentation. All right, so how to navigate through the Forms tool. So first, you're going to log into MineTracker, click on your Organizations tab, and then in the top right corner, you're going to see a little button that says Manage Organization. This is only going to be available for people who have management access. So if you don't have management access, be sure to tell your president or an officer to put you in the roster and give you management access. Or if you're just having problems, you can always contact our office and we can help you out. So once you click on Manage Organization, it'll take you to this screen and you'll click on the 3 horizontal lines in the top left. It'll bring down a drop-down menu, and then you will click the Forms button. So once you click that, it's going to take you to this form where it says Manage Forms, and this is where you're going to see all your existing forms that you've previously made. This is where you'll be able to create a form. You can archive forms or just bulk restore them. So like all the ones you've archived in the past, you can bring them back. So here, this is where you can edit old forms or just completely create a new one. You can filter by ones like that you have like accepted submissions or they're pending, or if you want them to be featured. All right, so when you create a new form, this is going to be what it looks like. So here, this is where you're going to create a title for whatever your form is going to be. This is where you can make it active. So just like an FYI, it's not going to show up, or it's not going to show up to your other members if you don't make it active. So we highly recommend you make it active at that time, and you can set like a start date and end time. If you want it to be featured in like an explore form, for instance, maybe like if people are interested in recruitment, you can possibly like have it on the explore page of MineTracker so any student can see it, or you can hide it from the explore forms as well if it's just private to your organization. Start and end time, that's important. If you are wanting to have an approval process, so like for instance, if you're doing officer applications and you want like your whole executive board to see it, and then finally like your president, you can like have that created to have different approval processes basically. For the public submission, if you're wanting it to be public, kind of self-explanatory. If you allow multiple submissions, you can allow that too if that's what your form is about. The enable reviewer workflow, this is kind of like the levels, kind of like the enable processor, but it kind of goes, I guess, like in another level about kind of like another level of approval process, but it'll go to specific people at a time. And then the submitter identified reviewers, this is going to be that allows the submitter to add up to 5 users for the review process as well. Okay, and then at the bottom of the create form page on the right, this is what it's going to be like. This is going to allow you to add restrictions for only certain people to use, or only certain people to use the form, and not create the form, but like fill out the form, I guess. So for instance, if you're only wanting freshmen to see what events they want to do, or t-shirt sizes for only the graduating seniors or something like that, you can suggest who you're restricting it to. And then of course, save and add your questions. And we will go into adding questions next. Okay, so there are 8 different types of questions, I guess I would call it. Like there's like a checkbox list that allows you to have multiple answers. You can add, there's like a file upload, like for instance, if you're doing officer applications and you're like super sophisticated and need like a resume or something like that, or even if you're like asking for t-shirt designs, they can upload their t-shirt design idea. Or if you're doing t-shirt sizes and you have small, medium, large, extra large, etc., you can just completely create it the way you want it. It's very easy. Like once you get the hang of it, you have to be very creative with this. It's pretty cool. All right, so when you click page properties, this is where you can name each page. For instance, if you have different pages of the application process or different types of events you're wanting to get ideas for, or something like that, this is where you can name each page. And you can also put them in different orders here as well and create new pages. And then if you click, also I'm going to go back really quick. If you click page list, that's where you can rearrange them. So properties is the different names and page list is where you can rearrange them. All right, so when you're finished creating the form and if you're wanting to go back and edit it, you'll be able to add reviewers. And so when you add reviewers, you'll have to click on the reviewers tab at the top of the page. So here, this is where you can add reviewers, like how I've been keep bringing it up, like for officer applications or whatever, and you need reviewers like for the process, or even if you want your advisor to review it, you can add them in this as well. So you'll just add them in like the little plus and little person icon. You'll add them by their utep.edu email and search the type of status you want to give them, and they'll get an email saying that they were invited to be a reviewer for this specific form. All right, so some examples of what to use the forms tool for, like I've always been saying, officer applications, ideas for future events, polls on which events your members like the best and what you want to continue to do like in the next semesters, t-shirt sizes, voting on themes for meetings. These are just a few ideas, but you could honestly use this for anything. I think it's a great tool to use and it's very engaging, and all of your members, if they're on your roster, have access to this. So it's very beneficial, and it creates like less hassle than, Microsoft Word, where you have to share it and have OneDrive and like all that. This is just strictly with your UTEP email, which all of us use. So I think it's really, really simple and really easy to use. So benefits, kind of like how I said, it allows you to ask information to others quickly. Like we all have our emails connected to this. It's super easy. Members can participate easily through MineTracker. All the responses will be saved automatically and in the same place for years and years and years. There's 8 different styles of questions you can ask for. and you can completely customize it and use a previously one made, just copy and paste. It's super easy, super beneficial. I highly recommend it. Travaris, is there anything else you were wanting to add to this Forms tool?
No, you're right on the money with it. If there is something though that comes to mind, I will jump in.
Okay. All right, so that's basically it for Forms. It's very simple once you get the hang of it. Just you have to have a creative mind for this, and it's super simple. It's great. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you can always email us about it. But for our next MineTracker 101 sessions, we have one next week talking about documents, gallery, and news tool, and then all sorts of one throughout the spring semester. So if any of them look interesting to you, come and check us out. We'll be there. We also have our upcoming SOAP sessions, which deal about like your organization advancing within leadership and all different types of skills. So we have one, our next one is going to be on March 4th with programming and event ideas. My coworker Adriana is in charge of those. So those are great. Go check those out too if you're interested. But yeah, that's about it for our presentation. Are there any questions so far?